time. Overnight lows into the upper 60s to near 70. Could see a little patchy late fog. For Friday, another mostly sunny and hot day expected. Highs near 90. Back into the upper 80s with a nice late afternoon shower or storm Saturday. Glass Farm Nursery is now open with a big selection of trees and shrubs for fall planting, as well as big savings on 8-inch mums, violas, and pansies. That's Glass Farm Nursery, Highway 11, 4 miles south of Trenton. And I'm Storm Sheen 12, Chief Meteorologist Patrick 4.
Radio 92.7.
We just started a family and we're already planning for the future. Michael Levy has helped pave the way to keep our financial future on track. He's local, he knows us, and cares about what's important to us. Don't put your future on hold. Call Michael Levy, 779-7755.
Cash, and more cash. Get 8.1% return on your money. Rick Davis can turn your cash into real money. Gold and silver bullion. American Eagle Gold. The banks give you a measly 1.9%. At Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, you'll get 8.1% return on your money. 8.1% return on your money. Wow! Whether you're buying an ounce or 100 ounces, Rick guarantees it in writing. 8.1% Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. Brainerd Road, Chattanooga.
Cougar Radio 92.7.
Yeah, we're ready. Let us know.
You're listening to the Gridiron Gang Show here at Starbucks 10 North on the North Shore, right off of Cherokee Boulevard. And our game of the week is Red Bank and Hickson. And so we've got a couple of special guests here. We've got head coach Chris Brown of the Red Bank Lions, and we've got wide receiver Calvin Jackson joining us on the show today. So we're excited about that. In the next hour of the show, we're actually going to have Coach Campbell from LFO. We had them as the game of the week last week, and they won their game versus Ringgold 35-25. So we'll have Coach Campbell come on the air and break that down for us in the next hour. But we're going to start here with Coach Brown and Calvin. But first, Nick has got the drinks of the week here for the game of the week.
So here at Starbucks 10 North on the North Shore here on Cherokee Boulevard.
I nailed it that time.
Yeah, I know. The numbers aren't getting as bad this time as they were last week. So hopefully, we'll be able to do that. So obviously we have our 2 drinks of the week for each team. Red Banks, guess what? Their drink is the same the first 3 times we were here with Red Bank. So it's the Roaring Refresher for Red Bank. It is a strawberry refresher with lemonade. And then also for Hickson, the Wildcat Frappuccino, which is a pineapple infusion blended Frappuccino with coconut milk. So you can come on down here to Starbucks on 10 North. They are open till 10 o'clock tonight. And then you can come by and talk some high school football with us. I'm sure we would enjoy to have some random fans come and tell us their ideas of what's going on this year on the football field all over the area, as we only get to go to one game a week, so we don't really know a lot, but we do know a lot about Red Bank.
We do. We've had, this is our 3rd Red Bank game. Should be the 4th actually. If we didn't have, we've scheduled a lot of Red Bank, but it's been good. We've had a number of great games, and so that's never a bad thing. I mean, the games have been all fun. The Signal Mountain game I thought was really dramatic, but pulled out the win there. So we're gonna talk to Calvin or Coach. We've got a handheld mic. Whoever wants to go first, we'll go ahead and. All right, Calvin's taking the mic, and you guys coming off a big win against McMinn. How do you feel?
I just feel good, because we came into the season with a new coach, and none of us knew how it was actually going to go, and we kind of we got to put trust in them. We can't hang our heads because, what happened to Coach G. But going through the season, it feels, good. And after the McMinn Central game, it just, it feels like, it's hard to explain what it really feels like, but, we just got to keep the momentum and carry it to next week.
It looks like some things started to click a little bit.
Yeah.
You had that week off after Signal Mountain,
right.
And then you get the bye week to work on some things. Did it feel like, especially offensively, the defense has been, consistent all year, I would say. Offensively, did things just finally start to click?
I I think
Or
so.
was it just execution? Was
Yeah,
it, okay.
we executed really well. Coach Aikens, he was on the top of his game with the play calling, and we just, we ran whatever he told us to run, and it just worked out.
So one thing that can kind of gets lost in the shuffle anytime you have a coaching changes,
right.
You guys that have been there and you had one coach and you have a new coach.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get used to a new coach? I mean, Coach Brown's obviously a good dude and a really good coach, but how do you get used to somebody else, somebody new?
Well, you kind of just gotta, put faith in them. You can't think about the past. You just gotta move forward onto the future. And a lot of the returning guys, actually, we like Coach Brown, and
that's always good. That's always good when you like your coach. Makes him feel good.
We was going into the season like, man, I don't know if I like this guy, and I was like, we got to give it a chance, and then it just worked out. You really just gotta, get to know him, and then, well, we gotta get to know him because we're gonna be playing with him every Friday night.
You said, it's tough, especially going into your senior season.
It is tough.
Changing coaches. As a leader on the team, what do you have to do to get the guys to buy in? Because that's all it is. A coach can be great. A coach can have a great scheme. They can be ready to go. But if the guys aren't bought in, nothing works. So what do you have to do in the summer to get guys bought in, even before the summer, during the workouts in the winter? What do you guys do to get bought in?
Basically, we just got to get guys coming, getting them to, believe in what we're doing and what Coach Brown has planned is going to work. You can't come into the season thinking like, oh, we got a new coach, we're not going to win no games. It's the same thing, it's just a new leader.
Yeah.
You just got to follow behind him and everything, it'll work out.
It's a perfect answer from a leader.
Yeah. You're listening to the Gridiron Gang Show here at Starbucks 10 North on the North Shore, right off of Cherokee Boulevard. We have Coach Brown and we have Calvin Jackson of the Red Bank Lions here joining us. Calvin, you guys have a big game last week. You have another game coming up against Hickson. You don't want to let the last game get to your head. How do you clear that and just say, okay, we're starting back from zero?
That's basically what you do. It's the past. You don't think about the past. You got to keep moving forward. Just like, we didn't play Saudi the first week, and, a lot of us was, kind of upset because that's a big rival game, and everybody comes out for the game.
We were upset too. We wanted to do that one. That was going to be so much fun.
Yeah, it was going to be a good game, but,
yeah.
As a leader, you got to let everybody know, like, we still got things to do ahead of time. Like, we got to keep moving on. We can't worry about the last week's game. So, you tell them every day, it's not about what we did in the past. It's about what we got going on in the future.
I've always been a big proponent of when I've coached is it's every week is 1-0. Don't worry about what you've done in the past. Don't worry about what you got to do in the future. Worry about winning the game that you have right now.
Yeah,
and
that's what Coach Payne says every day.
Yeah, you got to be 1-0 every week. And I think that sounds, from what I've talked with Coach Brown in the past and everything, that seems like his mentality. Mm-hmm. Can't worry about what you did last week.
Right.
That being said, kind of that snap and clear mentality. Just got to move on. Mm-hmm. What things do you think you guys could improve on against Hickson?
The O-line, we always gotta improve the O-line. But they working, they getting better every day. We all getting better every day, actually. We had a lot of missed assignments. That long touchdown was, it really shouldn't have happened, but against McMinn, it really shouldn't have happened. But
so you're saying you should have shut him out?
Yeah, we should have shut him out. But it was, it was just a lot of missed assignments, guys not doing what they're coached to do, and we just got to, tighten up on the little things, because the little things matter.
When you have stuff like that in the game where you can actually go back and say to yourself, yeah, we could have played a little bit better. I mean, even with the way that you won, is it hard to go back and look at film and go,
Yeah, it is. It is hard to look back, like, if I would have did that, this would have happened, or we could have put up this many more points, But you still gotta, keep moving forward. It was the past.
But it is always better to watch film in a win, isn't it?
Right.
Then it is. It's always easier to fix things after you win than it is to fix them after you lose.
You don't like going into the film room and Coach Brown yelling at you for doing something and we lose the game. But it's always fun going into film and we winning and we can like cut up and the good things that happen, the funny mistakes. But it's always things that we got to fix.
Yeah.
Well, we are fans of the game, and we have an idea of what we think you do well. What does Calvin Jackson think that he does well?
I don't know. I think I can run the ball well, but I'm more of a like open space. Like if it's 1-on-1 in open space, I'm winning every time.
Oh, you for real?
Yeah. That's at least what I think.
Okay, that's like the mentality you gotta have.
Like,
yeah.
I don't expect it, but that's what I think.
Okay, so on the flip side, what does Calvin Jackson need to do better?
Calvin Jackson needs to do a lot of things better. Got to get faster. Always got to get faster. Footwork. Be a better leader. I'm not a great leader. Like I have mistakes. I do things wrong. I miss blocks. Run the wrong routes, and it's everybody has something to fix. We're not all perfect.
You're listening to Starbucks or to the Gridiron Gang.
You're listening to Starbucks.
You could also be listening to Starbucks. It's a delicious show here at Starbucks 10 North on the North Shore, right off of Cherokee Boulevard. Calvin Jackson and Coach Brown joining us on the show today. Calvin, what is something that as a leader you like to do? Because I know one of my favorite stories is in the NBA. Tim Duncan was always a guy that Greg Popovich could yell at, and once you saw him get yelled at, everybody else knows. Okay, well, none of us are special. Like what's something that you do well? That's
basically what happens. Coach Brown and
your job's to get yelled at.
Coach Brown and Coach Akins will yell at me, and everybody else is like, "Oh, he can yell at me."
Yeah, I think that's a coach's mentality. I know I did the same thing when I coached you. You get your best player, and when they screw up, you yell at them.
Yeah.
Because that means that everybody realizes, oh man, this guy's really good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get if he gets yelled at, I'm definitely gonna get yelled at.
Yeah, that's kind of like I actually rolled today.
Oh, good.
Today I got in trouble.
All right. So how dizzy? I love watching him roll. That's like one of my favorite things.
I hate rolling. Today it was kind of easy today because he made us roll on a track.
Oh.
But it was the middle school kicked us off the field and we rolled on the track. It wasn't the dizzy part like on the track. It was like the track part. Like my arms are red and
right
and like scratches and stuff, but
builds character.
Yep.
Builds character. I want to ask you one more question before we let Coach Brown talk a little bit. You've committed.
Right.
You're going to Wofford. What are you wanting to do while you go there? Like, what are your goals? Obviously, I know the simple goals. You want to play, you want to do well. But what are your goals on the field, off the field? What are your goals?
Well, on the field is just I want to play. I want to get seen by some NFL teams if that could happen. But I'm thinking about going to the Wofford and studying physics. And I really just want to get a good education. It's
You're
not
going to a great place to get a good education.
Yeah.
That's a nice
I've talked to a lot of the coaches about the education. That's all they really talk about. Like when I first went up there, they never talked about football when I first got there. They always talked about how good your education could be and how leaving Wofford it can make you like a better person and you can get a lot more jobs and stuff like that. And that's really the only reason.
You always got to have a plan for life after football,
right.
Because even if you go to the NFL, that's not going to last forever.
Right. My parents always talk about that. Plan B, you always got to have a plan.
You do. And I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to a great school. You're going to get a great opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for you. I think, you're the opportunities that you have in the Southern Conference, the places that you're going to get to play, the chances that you're going to get to be seen by people are going to be great.
And I think we play Clemson.
You probably do. Which that'll be fun.
Yeah, if it's not next year, it's the year after. But I know we play Clemson.
I had a couple of friends who played at UTC, and one of them was actually on the Tuscaloosa Times, getting mossed on by Julio Jones.
Oh my God.
Or excuse me, I think it was Amari Cooper. Either way, it was one of them, and I think it was Amari Cooper. But still, so
he got caught on.
Yeah. He's a safety.
You got to be in the paper,
right?
Yeah, I got to be in the paper in Tuscaloosa, but
it wasn't for it wasn't for a good reason.
No, but I think after the fact, now that he's been gone out of college a while, he kind of takes a a little bit. It's a little. He's
got
impressed
caught on
with
by
it.
Mark
Yeah,
Cooper.
yeah. That guy's in the NFL. He called on me. You know, that's
Like
one of those
it
things.
wasn't like just anybody.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't Mari Cooper.
It
So,
was,
you know,
yeah, it wasn't their, even though their fourth string guys are still really good, it wasn't one of their fourth string guys. All right. Well, thanks again, Calvin.
Yes.
Obviously, you're welcome to stay as long as you want.
Oh, yeah. I want to hear what Coach Brown has.
I'm sure you do. So what we'll do, we'll go ahead. We'll transition over to Coach Brown. Coach, I think Calvin gave us some really good answers. I think you might have coached him up on what to say.
No, that's one thing I'm lucky to say is Calvin knows how to speak. It's a credit to his parents, but I'm always here in case he says something he should.
Well, I thought
watch over him.
I thought it was a great job by him. Wofford's getting him not just a good football player, a good kid. So that's great for him. And I want to talk. I want to talk just a little bit about last week. What things? I mean, you know, it's tough sometimes when you have a game like that, score wise. What things are you able to learn from not even necessarily starters, but even from guys who may have to step in situations later in the season?
Well, that's the blessing of a game like that. You get to see a lot of kids in a varsity game and see how they react to actual Friday night lights. It's because you never know until you're in that position. So we got to evaluate. I think our statistics, Calvin, you can tell me if I'm wrong. We played 19 kids on varsity defense and 17 kids on varsity offense.
That's awesome.
And then the total number, I believe, was 29 offense, 31 defense. That's
Oh, wow.
a lot of kids evaluated for a 3A football program. So it's great to see that on tape. Great to get the coaches to see what we're doing and who could possibly help us moving forward.
Who popped for you guys? Who stood out apart from your usual
Apart from the
suspects?
usual? Oh, man. That's very tough. I'll talk about him. Lorente Grant, affectionately nicknamed Tiptoe for us. Little sophomore corner who does everything right and does exactly what he's coached to do. He got in there he had 3 tackles and a forced fumble. Calvin, smack him on the helmet tomorrow. And he was just, that's the kid here's a kid doing everything he's coached to do and having success for it because he does it every day. So chance to brag on him now. You're my witness.
Awesome to hear.
So and that's funny that you said that you brought him up because we were talking. I was looking at the stats and stuff, and I was like, "Who's 20?" Because it was on the one just from the game and don't have names next to him. I'm like, "Who's 22, Coach?" He looked like he had a pretty good game, and then you were like, "Yeah, he did. He did." And I didn't realize it was somebody who didn't start. The numbers do not look like somebody who would have not started.
No, they do not.
But you know that's great. I'm looking at some of these stats here. Lucas Brown.
Yeah.
For the season. He's done a great job. I'm assuming most of the time. I don't know. I can't remember. Does he line up in the slot or opposite Calvin?
Well, depending on where we play Calvin, but he's usually the isolated receiver, right? Calvin spends most of his time on the line.
Okay. So what's given him the opportunity to be able to – I mean, he's got 9 catches for 162 yards. I mean,
And that's not even talking about what he does in the return game.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's just on offense.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't say, first off, our offensive line, to be a bunch of sophomores, do a fantastic job in pass protection. They do an incredible job giving Maddox time, and Maddox has gotten better and better every week about hitting the spots. So before we talk about Calvin, we got to start up front. Those guys have consistently pass protected well and are getting better. And that's what I think allows Lucas to be Lucas and get in the seams and get vertical and uses double moves. And he's such a big body to try to guard. I mean, he's 6'2", point guard off the basketball team, knows how to high point, knows how to use his body. And now it's really starting to transcend into the football game.
Makes it easy to teach him how to box out for those catches, doesn't it?
You know, you don't have to teach him.
He already knows how to do it.
It's pretty impressive.
You're listening to the Gridiron Gang show here at Starbucks 10 North on the North Shore. Just resetting there for you, Nick.
Yeah, and just to let you know, we do have Coach Brown and Calvin Jackson from Red Bank here. That is going to be our AMCO Transmission High School Game of the Week. And that is brought to you by AMCO Transmission and Total Car Care of Chattanooga on Lee Highway. Stay on the road, not in the garage. That's AMCO Transmission on Lee Highway. Get it done the right way, the Thompson Petway way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so, Coach, I want to talk a little bit about Maddox. You said it. He's getting – each week, it's getting better. You look at his cumulative stats, plus you look at what he did last week. It's a lot better. That 65% completion percentage is more what you want to see from your quarterback.
Absolutely.
And it looks like the drops are getting a lot better, too. Yeah. 7 on the season, but 0 last week.
Yes.
Tell us just how. I mean, I know a lot of people don't really understand, but for a quarterback's confidence, when his receivers catch the ball and we're not having drops, what does How does that help the quarterback get in a rhythm, confidence-wise?
That's what it does. It creates a rhythm. It puts everything. The play calling gets in a rhythm. The movement gets in a rhythm. The throwing motion gets in a rhythm. It just puts everything on almost like a clock-like operation level. And for Maddox, who's a very talented young man, he's still a junior. Mm-hmm. Even though he's played a lot of football, he needs that rhythm to get him flowing into a game. And it's great to see him get that early success.
What is something from the running game that stood out to you? Because you have just a number of guys that can really run it. Obviously, Strickland is just a monster, but like you have Massengale's done a really great job running the ball as well. Like what about your running game? You've gotten the passing game going recently, but what about the running game makes it something that you always feel like you could fall back on?
Well, we're blessed with a lot of threats, and it starts kind of on starts sort of outside and works its way in because we have so many players on the perimeter that you have to honor. Those run lanes open, and that's not to take away from Strickland or our offensive line, but we like our chances when we're blocking 5-on-5 with a good running back.
Right.
But we can lean on a lot of people like Calvin, like Lamir Strickland, Eli Massengale when we need it, and D'Angelo Ross is a kid who's coming off an ankle kind of issue, has a lot of speed. I think you all will see flash hopefully tomorrow night some. We're fortunate to be deep there, and again, it's our work on the perimeter that spreads defenses out that gives us the matchups we need to run the ball.
One last question before we get to let you go. What if you had to pick one thing that you want to see improve this week? What is it? Focus and execution. As gaudy as the score was, and McMinn Central helped it get to that point through some of their mistakes. Calvin can verify there were moments where we had multiple missed assignments on a single play, moments of selfishness that led to either big gains or their solo touchdown or negative plays for us offensively. So I'm looking for us to focus on us and execute every play and eliminate all our missed assignments and see how good we can be. Thanks again, Coach Brown. Calvin, thank you for joining us. We're going to be out there tomorrow night at Hickson High School for the game of the week. That's going to be Hickson at home against Red Bank. We are at Starbucks 10 North. This is the Gridiron Gang Show. We're going to be right back after this break.
Traffic, news, and information. Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
3, 2, 1.
Chatta, Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Dalton police say an unidentified man used stolen credit cards to rack up hundreds of dollars in charges at stores in Fort O. Reports say the credit cards were stolen out of vehicles parked at a soccer complex back in April. Suspect is described as an African-American male with a beard wearing a Nike athletic shirt at the last time the cards were used. If you have any info, call the police. A traffic stop yielded a massive haul of drugs. Etowah police officer Jason Russell responding to a call of a suspicious vehicle early yesterday. Reports say police recovered almost 5 pounds of meth from the scene, one person arrested. And Chattanooga police believe they know who shot a man on Wheeler Avenue. 31-year-old Tavares Walker was found shot multiple times September the 9th. Darius Woods arrested and shipped off to the Hamilton County Jail. He's charged with attempted first-degree murder, aggravated assault, and a gun charge. Val St. John for Nuga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News now.
David Toulis. I made the move 1 o'clock every weekday afternoon, 1 till 3, Nuga Radio.
92.7 Nuga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
Expect mostly clear skies to continue through your nighttime. Overnight lows into the upper 60s to near 70. Could see a little patchy late fog. For Friday, another mostly sunny and hot day expected. Highs near 90. Back into the upper 80s with a nice late afternoon shower or storm Saturday. Glass Farm Nursery is now open with a big selection of trees and shrubs for fall planting, as well as big savings on 8-inch mums, violas, and pansies. That's Glass Farm Nursery, Highway 11, 4 miles south of Trenton. And I'm Storm Machine 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Moore.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
I got my business up and running, and it's already expanding. I got lucky. Lucky because I found Signal Voice and Data. Signal Voice and Data can incorporate all of my business information sharing and communications seamlessly, keep my costs down, and let me work more productively with endless connectivity no matter where I might be. That's called working smart, not hard. Go to signalvoicetn.com and bring the future of communication to your business today. signalvoicetn.com.
I live, work, and play in Chattanooga, the scenic city. But when it comes to my next car, truck, or SUV, I'm Alabama bound. Fort Payne, Alabama, and Landers McClarty Ford. Big city selection of new and pre-owned vehicles with the small town price and friendly service. Now, I'm not knocking my hometown, but when it comes to my next ride, I only go to Landers McClarty Ford of Fort Payne. Their selection is huge, but if I can't find what I want, they'll find it for me with the same low price, same great service, and only a short drive away. And I can go online to look around before I leave the house. Got that next dream ride in your head yet? Yeah, you do. Get a head start at LandersMcClartyFord@FortPayne.com. Don't just dream it, find it at LandersMcClarty Ford of Fort Payne.com. That's right, Landers McClarty Ford of Fort Payne, Alabama.
Nuga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Hello? Who am I speaking with? Eric, you're our winner. Really?
You'll receive tickets for all 3 races between the Camping World Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and the Monster Energy Cup races.
Holy cow.
In addition, you'll receive a 2-night stay at the Microtel Hotel and restaurant accommodations at 2 area restaurants.
Nuga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Nuga Radio
92.7.
Your NASCAR racing station. Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nuga Radio
92.7.
You hear that? That's the sound of power. The call of the open road. That is the newly designed 2019 Indian Chieftain Limited. Yeah, Indian. More than a bike, it's an experience and an American icon. And the place to find it, Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga, along with their entire new 2019 line. Ready to answer that call? Go to Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga. Just look for the sign on 153 and Nicola. Indian Motorcycle, the true American original.
Join Nuga Radio and the Gridiron Gang live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. We're talking all things high school football. There's a specialty brew or refresher weekly inspired by the game of the week. Sweet treats, extended hours all season long, and we're pet friendly. Portions of all proceeds support local schools and educational scholarships, as well as after-school programs. It's football time in Tennessee. Join us every Thursday live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks, 10 North, your North Shore neighborhood living room.
The kids are back in school, routine has returned, and we've shifted our thoughts to the fast approaching holiday season. Are you hosting? Want to spruce up before your guests arrive? Whether you want new color and exciting wallpaper or elegant window treatments, the designers at Chattanooga Paint and Decorating can help. With brands like York, Tebow, Graber, and Carroll, we know you'll find something you love. Stop by Chattanooga Paint and Decorating today. It's really more than just a paint store. On Hicks and Pike, across from Valvoline, or online at ChattanoogaPaint.com.
Nuga Radio.
Are you brain dead? Still voting for pathetic liberals? Take 3 hours of Sean Hannity from 3 to 6.
Nuga Radio.
Then call us in the morning between 9 and 11.
92.7.
Nuga Radio.
You're listening to Nuga Radio? Snafus. You're listening to Nuga Radio, the Gridiron Gang Show here on Starbucks 10 North on the North Shore, right off of Cherokee Boulevard. And our game of the week this week is Hickson and Red Bank. Special thanks to Coach Brown and to Calvin Jackson for joining us on the show and giving us their breakdown of last week's games and their season so far. And that's always a good interview whenever we have Coach Brown on. And Calvin,
love having a player too.
Yeah, and Calvin's good because I mean you have some players, they're high school players, and you get them in front of a microphone and they don't want to talk because they're a little shy. Yeah. But no, not Calvin.
No, Calvin was definitely not shy. I think Coach at times was like, oh Lord, what's he going to say? But I thought Calvin did a great job. Walford's getting a good kid, man.
Yeah, he's going there to do. He said he's going to do physics. Like he might have a future in this business.
It's like Josh Dobbs over there.
Yeah, I
know. He's going to be an astronaut.
My struggles in counting made it as such that I could never actually do physics. So
my stupidity has kept me away from that. So I just did my little communications degree and went from there. I can talk, but that's about it. That's about it. I can talk about sports. Well, Sam, you finally got a microphone.
Yes. I just wanted to add one thing to that last comment.
Oh, God. What?
That was an understatement.
About the stupidity or about the talking?
The talking.
Okay, well, at least it wasn't the stupidity.
No. I'll give you more credit than that.
Okay, well,
we'll leave the stupidity to Keon.
Yeah.
Hey.
So if you're listening to us on the radio or however you're listening to us, just know that there are tons of ways to listen to us here on Nougat Radio. You can listen at NougatRadio.com. The Android app, you can just search that for Nougat Radio. Next radio. Thank you. Sorry, producer's talking in my ear and I can't focus.
Ignoring.
Next radio. Search Nougat. Tune in radio. You can search Hot News Talk Radio. You can also use the Facebook plug-in icon. You can just tap that and listen. You can also watch us. Well, probably not right now, but on Facebook Live, on Nougat Radio, and then also on YouTube, Nougat Radio 92.7. And there you go. Sorry, got to eat that mic, Sam.
Oh, I know that.
Okay.
I just figured you were going to keep talking and talking and talking.
Know, I don't. You know
what the old TV commercial, E.F. Hutton commercials, the stock brokerage firm, when E.F. Hutton talks, everybody listens.
Oh,
so maybe that's the way with Nick LaFew.
Well, I just got corrected by our producer that they can watch us on Facebook Live and YouTube right now. It's just our producer in the studio that we're watching instead of us.
Okay, that's lively television.
Yeah, I mean, well, Jason's an entertaining guy. I'm sure he's just dancing around in there.
We should have him have like a chicken costume or something.
Something
really
for
people to actually enjoy.
Granted, we need a Nougat Radio mascot.
If we are going to demean him to that level, we really should bring him drinks. At that point, that would be the least we could actually do.
Speaking of drinks,
yeah,
the special drinks this week for Red Bank, it is the Roaring Lion Refresher, which is a strawberry refresher with lemonade. And then for Hickson, it is the Wildcat Frappuccino, which is a pineapple infusion blended Frappuccino with coconut milk. Also, just know that our Starbucks here on 10 North is open until 10 o'clock tonight instead of their normal 9 o'clock.
Only on Thursdays.
Only on Thursdays, just for us, because we take up so much of their room.
Yeah.
Outside, though, it's a really nice night. It was hot earlier today.
Yeah,
though.
I mean, it's still a little bit hot.
It's humid.
But humid, but, it's bearable. No pun intended.
How is that? What's the pun there?
Where would the pun be?
The bear. You.
Oh, okay.
All right, then. I'm the mascot now? All right. All right. I'm the captain.
Didn't you once wear a bear suit?
Yes, I did.
As a mascot?
For our owner of the radio station, we were in a shag rug first. And I made the awful mistake of putting the costume on the wrong way. I was rushing to get to a
yes,
parade.
Yes, I do remember this now. Yeah. I do remember this story now because the tail was in the front and not in the back.
The tail was in the front, and I had a mother come up to me because I was supposed to be taking pictures with little kids. And it was like, she said, you may want to turn it around. So we did. And then eventually we got an old Army backpack, and we had a guy there in central Pennsylvania that made us a 7-foot tall bear outfit with overalls, bib overalls, and a really neat hat. And I stood 7 foot tall. So, yeah, I got to wear the bear costume. I've been Smokey the Bear. I've been the bear. I played a frog in a ceramic plaster of Paris outfit in the hottest days of August in Arkansas. So don't talk to me about
the many lives of Sam Jordan.
So I just want to know what, maybe we should do this off here, but what in the world were you wearing a frog costume for?
The radio station that I worked at when I first got into commercial radio in '82 called KTOD, the voice of Toad Suck Country.
Okay.
All right. I'm actually upset there was a legitimate answer to that question.
I'm too. I was just hoping he was in a random frog costume. I was kind of hoping.
The plaster of Paris, it was really hot.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was. Well, I think we would
transition.
I think we would be remiss if we didn't talk about football, since that's the reason we're actually here.
Yeah. So
can we first off, before we get into any of these other games, can we take a back step to last week and what my alma mater did? They went up to Knoxville and beat Knox Catholic.
Yeah.
Thank you, Justin Barton.
In their own house. And yeah, I saw that and I actually meant to text you. Because that one shocked me.
Well, I even shared the Facebook status for Star Daisy football. I was like, that away, boys. Way to go.
So you had a great weekend last week because your boys from Saudi won and UT won against whoever.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk plenty of UT on Saturday morning in my show because I'm going to be in rare form.
I'm sure of that.
It's Florida Hate Week, and I might have to have the drop button for me ready to go.
Yeah,
it's ready.
Hate. So yeah, we're gonna have a good time Saturday morning.
Yeah,
sure.
it's going to be great, and then I'll be going up to Knoxville to partake in some adult beverages once I get up there. So I'll be rip roaring ready to go.
An adult first.
Okay.
I'm adult
by age only.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
as long as it says it, as long as it says it on your driver's license, that's the only thing.
My driver's license picture is still my one from when I was 18, so it's 10 years old. So they look at it when they card me at places, and they're like, I'm like, I promise it's me. One, I don't have a beard, and two, I was 18 in that picture. But anyway, we'll move on.
Let's talk about one of our other undefeated teams. We just talked about Red Bank; they're undefeated.
Yeah.
But Tyner mollywopped Marion County. I mean, I know we saw that coming, but it's still shocking to me how they seem to cruise to just about every single win that they're involved in.
They are actually 4-1.
Yeah, they did lose.
They did lose. That's right.
They did lose one. Chattanooga Christian's undefeated.
Yeah, Coach Mariak is doing some great things over in St. Elmo. He's building that program that's never had much of anything, really, and he's doing a great job.
Yeah, there's only about 3-4 teams in our area that are still undefeated. South Pittsburgh,
of course.
Whitwell.
Whitwell.
Right. And
get a little more southern with it. Get a little Whitwell.
Well, I've only been here a year since I got reconstituted here in the South. So, I'm still trying to get that accent back in me. But, and then also Red Bank being the other undefeated team here in our area. So, I mean, that's pretty decent. I mean, to be at, week 6 and have 4 or 5 teams that are still undefeated, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think Red Bank's I'll be able to play because Saudi Daisy, minus the little hiccup against Lenore City, they've really had a really good season for Justin Barnes, and I thought, man, I wish we could go back in time and change the weather because I think that game would have been phenomenal.
One heck of a game.
Yeah, that would have been phenomenal.
That would have been a great way to start the season off. I mean, we had Baylor and Notre Dame, but that game there would have really set the tone.
That was the true Friday night starting game, and man, I was looking forward to that one. And
I'm a little upset because I really think, and we'll get to picks later, but I think this is going to be the first game we call that's going to be an absolute blowout. This week.
It's very possible.
And it's a great game to do just because it is Red Bank and Hickson, and it's one of the biggest rivalries in the area. However, Hickson is not good.
And we might have a Howard kind of situation where it looks close for a little while.
One quarter.
Yeah.
1 quarter,
2 possessions.
maybe 2, but yeah, I strongly expect.
If Maddox, Wilkie, and his wide receivers continue to get in a rhythm with each other and they don't drop passes, then this Red Bank offense is about to get really dangerous to go along with a really good defense.
And a really good running game.
You're talking about a great state title contender in Red Bank to go along with Tyner in the area and also McCauley. So you have 3 Chattanooga area teams that could make deep runs in the playoffs along with the chance to win a state title. And I think those are your 3 teams to do it.
And McCauley going up to Nashville and blanking Ensworth last week.
Yeah, well,
beat them 29-0.
Well, I mean, I felt like Ensworth might be a little bit down after how Baylor stayed with them. We know Baylor's down in pitfalls right now, so
really.
So there's some issues going on at Baylor with the football program. Just not anything like bad, just other than the product on the field.
Right.
And so I think I didn't really expect a lot else out of Ensworth. McCauley's good.
Nick, I think that Baylor Notre Dame game on that Thursday night was an anomaly.
Man, I think it's a mental block for Notre Dame. They just have a mental block against
but that had some weird circumstances going on, with quarterback situation and stuff. But Notre Dame has not looked back though since, and Baylor is just kind of what happened.
And
week
I
1.
didn't expect anything different from Coach Fant at Notre Dame. He's a good coach, and they're doing well, and I expect them to do well. It's just harder as a smaller private school in that private school division to do that. But Notre Dame, man, they're well coached. They're good. They have an opportunity to make a state title run. I don't know if they can. But they have some horses to do so. It just all depends kind of where you are health wise going into November.
The one thing that I'm a little bit surprised, guys, is we still have 4 teams that are still searching for that first victory.
Yeah, Signal Mountain being one of them, right?
Yes, but
they're the most surprising one.
That's surprising because Signal Mountain
one.
looked better in the Jamboree the 2 weeks, or the week before the season started. They looked a lot better than what they showed up to be. And so far,
and they've had a couple of games where they nearly got over the top, but
yeah,
they just weren't able to.
Well, I think with Signal Mountain, I thought that their one real good chance out of these first 5 games to get a win, or 4 games, however many they played.
5.
Their best chance was that week 1 to get that against.
Oh, Signal Mountain is 1-4.
Oh, so they won last week.
Yeah,
Who
they did.
play?
I knew you'd ask me that. I don't have it here, but they did get their first victory. It's Boyd Buchanan, Walker Valley,
Copper Basin,
yeah. And that would be it because we had only had 4 what I had saw. But it's interesting though. We need to get the Walker Valley and Copper Basin game or a Walker Valley Lookout Valley game to see what we can come up with to have an interesting contest.
And Signal Mountain beat Loudon.
Ain't nobody want to watch that.
That was in Loudon, I believe.
Yeah, that was in Loudon, Tennessee.
Nobody
28 to 7 Signal.
Lookout Valley versus Walker Valley. Sam, nobody wants to watch that. Nobody wants to watch that.
Okay, but it has been some interesting contests that we've seen over the weeks. There's a lot of teams that just have the one loss that is still trying to jockey, and try to stay as competitive as they can against the schools that, there's only 3 or 4 that are undefeated in our region, because you've only got maybe 1 or 2 loss situation or scenario and you're out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's how tight it is,
Yeah.
In all the different classifications in our area.
Yeah, I mean, I still think there's an opportunity for a 5-5 team to make the playoffs in some of these regions, just because of the parity.
Right.
In the divisions, or the divisions, the regions.
The regions, yeah.
Right.
But I don't know, Sam. I think there's a lot to be said, though, that there is. It's good to see that there is some
a good parity.
Well, there's good parity, but I think, like I said, there's those 3 teams in the area who I think are legitimate state title contenders, and being Red Bank, McCallie, and Tyner. Everybody else is kind of just fighting for an opportunity to
maybe Notre Dame,
possibly, but
I'm not sure. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still not sure how for real they are.
I don't either.
They are good.
They're good.
But are they the real deal title contender kind of team? That I think when they have a real challenge in front of them, they've got to knock somebody out, and that'll prove it to the rest of us, because I just don't know.
And then you've got a team like Chattanooga Central. They have a different coach this year. There wasn't a whole lot of changes. They still had some good stock, players. But they've actually been, even though they've got a couple of losses under their belt, they've actually been a pretty decent team to watch and follow as well. And they haven't really missed too much of a beat here in this 2018 season. And that's been one of my interesting teams to kind of watch from afar.
Yeah, they did have, they have a couple of losses on the books already, with a loss to Red Bank. That we were at that game,
Yeah.
And then they also had a loss later on where they just got pounded by Notre Dame. But other than that, they've had a really good season.
But teams that we consider state title contenders. So I mean, it's not like you're losing to bad teams.
Correct. So that's something that is worth noting with them. A lot of the time, when you look at some of the losses that some of these teams have, you have to look at who they lost to. For instance, Signal Mountain lost to a number of quality teams before they finally got on the board. And so I don't really hold that too much against them or against some of these other teams that have, a loss here or a loss there. A lot of it comes down to the fact that you just, quite frankly, you're playing really good teams.
Just to let everyone know, we are here. This is the Gridiron Gang Show. We are here at Starbucks on 10 North on the North Shore. Always feel free to come down, join us. They have specialty drinks this week for our game, which I will go over in just a second. They are open till 10 o'clock tonight, staying open an extra hour. Only on Thursdays, just for our show, as Keon yawns into the microphone.
Did you hear that?
I heard a little bit. I heard a little bit.
Oh boy, that's unfortunate.
So
I tried to move the mic out of the way and everything. Like I'm a
sorry,
professional, you guys.
sorry, I'm bored. But the two drinks for the week are
too much.
the roaring refresher for Red Bank. It's a strawberry refresher with lemonade, and then the Wildcat Frappuccino for Hickson, which is a pineapple infusion Frappuccino, if I can use my words, blended with coconut milk.
It's even written for you.
I'm looking at it like I'm reading it, and I still can't do it. It's great. It's a great day.
We went to school for communication. I know. It doesn't seem like one guy yawning into the mic.
Okay.
We got another.
My time in college was spent writing for a newspaper.
Okay, fair enough.
So the talking sometimes I get talking too fast and I get excited and then
twisted.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, but I didn't want to stutter for 5 minutes. Okay, we're also Keon and I will also be out at Hickson High School for the Amco Transmission High School Game of the Week tomorrow
Special
night.
effects are free.
It's brought to you by Amco Transmission and Total Car Care of Chattanooga on Lee Highway. Stay on the road, not in the garage. Amco Transmission on Lee Highway. Get it done the right way, the Thompson Petway way.
Hey, I'm going to give a shameless plug here.
Of course you are. To you or to what?
No,
Okay.
to Amco, because I had an issue here recently with my Bravada, which they don't even make Oldsmobile anymore. So that's how old my vehicle is. And
It is in the name.
it is in the name. It's an old name. But I tell you what, Thompson and his guys there, they really did a great job. And it's like, it was almost like a brand new vehicle. And it's like, they really do go out of their way to make sure that they explain to you, what your issue was and how they were going to fix it and all
Well, I mean,
that.
that's the Thompson Petway way.
Right. They really go the extra mile.
They do. Just want to let everyone know that the game this week again at Hickson High School. We'll be there tomorrow night. Sam, you'll be on at 7.
7:07 with the 101 personal training countdown to kickoff, and then we'll have the Amco Transmission Total Car Care Game of the Week.
Woohoo.
And we will have
The fifth quarter show.
Sponsored by Chattanooga State Community College.
Look at this. It just got sponsors all over the place.
We may have one more that will kind of scratch your head a little bit during the game as well.
Well, look at this. We're just growing here at Nigga Radio. Just growing.
Yep, and also very excited right now, Coach Campbell.
Break. We'll be talking a little bit about what happened last week and their season so far. Also, we'll be, again a little bit later. We're gonna obviously break down the games for this week as well. Do a lot of other things going forward. But I do want to I want to harp on it a little bit more. Can we please talk about just a little bit more our alma mater and how we beat Knox Catholic? I'm sorry, guys. A huge win.
No, like
my coaching staff. Justin does do a really good job there, and he's had to fix some things, and it's taken a little bit of time. But now he's kind of gone through an entire cycle of players and athletes. He's got a great quarterback in Gavin Chambers. And he's doing some great things. A guy like Justin, the offense he runs, he needs a quarterback. And Gavin's a good one for him. And I'm really excited for what they're going to be able to do. They've only got one loss.
Yeah.
They're sitting at 3-1, and they're going to be a team to contend with a little bit later. I don't know how deep of a run they can make, but I think they'll make the playoffs. I think they'll make a little bit of a run.
If I'm not mistaken, they went into the second week of the playoffs last year.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. They won one game. So they're doing a great job. So we're here again. This is the Gridiron Gang Show. We're here at 10 North, the Starbucks here on Cherokee Boulevard here on the North Shore. We will be right back after the news break for an interview with Coach Campbell from Lakeview Fort Overthorpe High School.
Traffic, news, and information. Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Dalton police say a woman tried to rob a convenience store with a stun gun. Cops say she distracted a clerk. When he had his back turned, she zapped him with the stun gun. The clerk was more angry than hurt, as deputies say he grabbed a broom and chased the woman out of the store. Lindsay Dean arrested. Chattanooga police believe they know who shot a man on Wheeler Avenue. Darius Woods was arrested and charged with attempted first-degree murder, aggravated assault, and a gun charge. They believe he shot 31-year-old Tavares Walker on September the 9th. A middle school student in Marion County was suspended after officials say he created a hit list with 6 names on it. Those 6 victims were contacted by school administrators and talked to. Superintendent Mark Griffith said, "We want parents to know that safety is first and foremost in our school system." Construction is ongoing at the 2475 split on the East Ridge side. Expect delays. Russell Stroud, Nuga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Sean Hannity, weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 p.m. on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nuga Radio
92.7. Nuga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
Expect mostly clear skies to continue through your nighttime. Overnight lows into the upper 60s to near 70. Could see a little patchy late fog. For Friday, another mostly sunny and hot day expected. Highs near 90. Back into the upper 80s with a nice late afternoon shower or storm Saturday. Glass Farm Nursery is now open with a big selection of trees and shrubs for fall planting, as well as big savings on 8-inch mums, violas, and pansies. That's Glass Farm Nursery, Highway 11, 4 miles south of Trenton. And I'm Storm Sheen 12, Chief Meteorologist Patrick Ford.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
Your home is a constant work in progress. Repaint the walls? Yeah, easy enough. Leaky faucet? There's a video for that. But roof repair? You might want some help. That's where Chattanooga Roofing Contractors come in. They have 3 generations of roofing excellence you can count on. Leave the ladder in the garage. Go to chatroofing.com. That's chatroofing.com. For Chattanooga Roofing Contractors, a roofing company you can trust.
My ex recently hacked my email and my social media, and it really caused me some problems. I changed all my passwords, which helped, but I'm still getting trolled, maybe even stalked. I know it's him. I just can't prove it.
My business, well, it's been broken into twice already. I've got cameras, but that only helps after the fact. I'd rather prevent it from happening in the first place.
Unity One East is your solution to these and many other security concerns. With private investigation, security services, and backed by decades of real-life experience in military and law enforcement, Unity One East is your instant contact for security, investigation, and consultation to help protect you, your family, and your business. No 1-800 number, no red tape, no wait, because Unity One East is local and available 24/7. Reclaim your peace of mind. Call Unity One East, 475-6206, 475-6206.
Whether you have marginal, moderate, or even extensive hair loss, you don't have to live with it. Finally, there's a procedure that becomes a part of you, and it requires no daily maintenance or special care. Let Apollo Hair Systems give you a free hair and scalp analysis today. Call 423-803-1011 and schedule this free evaluation today. Open Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Apollo Hair Systems, 5512 Ringgold Road in Chattanooga. 423-803-1011 for Apollo Hair Systems.
I live, work, and play in Chattanooga, the scenic city. But when it comes to my next car, truck, or SUV, I'm Alabama bound. Fort Payne, Alabama, and Landers McClarty Ford. Big city selection of new and pre-owned vehicles with the small town price and friendly service. Now, I'm not knocking my hometown, but when it comes to my next ride, I only go to Landers McClarty Ford of Fort Payne. Their selection is huge, but if I can't find what I want, they'll find it for me with the same low price, same great service, and only a short drive away. And
WPLZ HD4 Ottawa, W224AZ Chattanooga.
Serving Chattanooga.
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe, the Tennessee Valley.
CBS News on the Hour, presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
I'm Pam Coulter. His accuser thinks rushing to a Monday hearing is unnecessary and unfair, but Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh is planning to appear before the Senate Judiciary Committee to answer questions about an alleged sexual assault in high school. CBS's Nancy Cordes reports.
He has sent a letter to the Senate Judiciary Committee saying that he will be at this hearing on Monday no matter what. And he says, I continue to want a hearing as soon as possible so that I can clear my name. CBS News has confirmed that he and his wife have received multiple death threats and that the U.S. Marshals are now investigating.
Longtime Trump attorney and fixer Michael Cohen has done 12 hours of interviews with Russia special counsel investigators after agreeing to a plea deal. CBS's Paula Reed.
Cohen faces the possibility of decades in prison after he pleaded guilty to 8 criminal counts in federal court in New York last month, including tax fraud and campaign finance violations. He admitted in court that he paid hush money to several women during the campaign at President Trump's direction. But now, if he can provide substantial and meaningful assistance to the special counsel, he could get that sentence significantly reduced.
4 people are dead, including the suspect in today's shooting at a warehouse in Aberdeen, Maryland. CBS's Chip Reed has more.
First responders arrived on the scene just after 9 a.m., about 5 minutes after the shooting began.
Yeah, 2 GSWs, 1 to the chest, 1 to the abdomen, 1 to the back at location.
Terrified employees poured out of the Rite Aid distribution center as police and medical first responders arrived, finding a horrific scene. 7 people had been shot. 3 of the victims died. 3 others were seriously injured. The 7th was the shooter, identified by police as Snowchia Mosley, a temporary employee of the facility.
The nation is expecting an explosion of dementia cases in the coming decades.
The number of people with Alzheimer's and dementia expected to more than double by 2060.
And furthermore, for African Americans, it'll quadruple, and Hispanic Americans, it will be more than 7 times the number that it is today.
The CDC's Kevin Matthews says overall that means 13 million people impacted. To put that in perspective, he says if you know someone now with dementia, by 2060, you'd know 3 people. Alzheimer's disease is the 5th most common cause of death for Americans 65 and older. Sabrina Cupid for CBS News, Atlanta.
Prince died in 2016, leaving behind a huge vault of unreleased material. A 9-track album using some of that material goes on sale tomorrow. It's called Piano and a Microphone. This is CBS News.
You have enough things to worry about every day. Insurance shouldn't be one of them. You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Let's think about customization presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Liberty Mutual customizes your auto insurance so you only pay for what you need. So why aren't more things in life customizable? Why isn't a burger cheaper when you ask for no onions? I don't want them, so shouldn't you deduct the price of the onions, right? Otherwise, I'm paying for the onions, but I'm not receiving any onions. Go to libertymutual.com for a customized quote and you could save.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, equal housing insurer.
My lawn's been worn out by summer, not to mention by my kids.
This year, use Scott's in the fall. Just one more feeding gives your grass the nourishment it needs to recover from the wear and tear of summer, while also building resilient roots to help prevent a weak, thin lawn next spring.
This fall, my kids and my grass are back out to play.
This is a Scott's Yard. Now's the time to feed your lawn. Pick up a bag of Scott's Winter Guard today.
Just in time for the holiday shopping season, a PlayStation console small enough to be a stocking stuffer.
Round 1, fight.
It's been more than a quarter of a century since Sony launched its PlayStation video game console, which sold more than 100 million units. In December, Sony will revive the PlayStation in miniature form. The so-called classic version is about half the size of the original device with similar controllers. Preloaded with 20 games, it will retail for about $100. Lucy Kraft, CBS News, Tokyo.
Starting next year, if you want a plastic straw at a California restaurant, you'll have to request it. A law signed by Governor Jerry Brown makes California the first state to bar full-service restaurants from automatically giving out single-use plastic straws. San Francisco and Seattle have banned plastic straws outright. Pam Coulter, CBS News.
Happy.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
Dalton police say a woman tried to rob a convenience store with a stun gun. Cops say she distracted a clerk. When he had his back turned, she zapped him with the stun gun. The clerk was more angry than hurt as deputies say he grabbed a broom and chased the woman out of the store. Lindsay Dean arrested. Chattanooga police believe they know who shot a man on Wheeler Avenue. Darius Woods was arrested and charged with attempted first-degree murder, aggravated assault, and a gun charge. They believe he shot 31-year-old Tavares Walker on September the 9th. A middle school student in Marion County was suspended after officials say he created a hit list with 6 names on it. Those 6 victims were contacted by school administrators and talked to. Superintendent Mark Griffith said, "We want parents to know that safety is first and foremost in our school system." Construction is ongoing at the 2475 split on the East Ridge side. Expect delays. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News Talk 92.7 Action News now.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
Expect mostly clear skies to continue through your nighttime. Overnight lows into the upper 60s to near 70. Could see a little patchy late fog. For Friday, another mostly sunny and hot day expected. Highs near 90. Back into the upper 80s with a nice late afternoon shower or storm Saturday. Glass Farm Nursery is now open with a big selection of trees and shrubs for fall planting, as well as big savings on 8-inch mums, violas, and pansies. That's Glass Farm Nursery, Highway 11, 4 miles south of Trenton. And I'm Storm Machine 12 Chief Meteorologist Patrick Ford.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
We just started a family and we're already planning for the future. Michael Levy has helped pave the way to keep our financial future on track. He's local, he knows us, and cares about what's important to us. Don't put your future on hold. Call Michael Levy, 779-7755.
Cash, 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 and more cash. Get 8.1% return on your money. Rick Davis can turn your cash into real money. Gold and silver bullion. American Eagle Gold. The banks give you a measly 1.9%. At Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds, you'll get 8.1% return on your money. 8.1% return on your money. Wow! Whether you're buying an ounce or 100 ounces, Rick guarantees it in writing. 8.1% Rick Davis Gold and Diamonds. Freedom Road, Chattanooga.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
Who wants gold?
You're listening to the Gridiron Gang Show here on Nooga Radio 92.7 FM here at Starbucks 10 North on the North Shore, right off of Cherokee Boulevard. We have some pretty decent weather tonight. It's a little humid, but not overly hot, which has been...
Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you right now, Keon, starting next week, it's going to start cooling off pretty quickly. And I think I'm seeing lows in the 40s next week.
Oh, boy.
So get ready.
Yeah, the Gridiron Gang Show's about to...
Yeah, I'm going to start wearing a hoodie out here. I mean,
it's going to change your entire dress code.
Yeah, 100%.
So our game of the week this week is Hickson is hosting Red Bank, and we had Coach Brown and Calvin Jackson on earlier, and we have drink specials.
We do have drink specials. So for Red Bank, there is the Roaring Refresher, which is a strawberry refresher with lemonade, and again, that's the Red Bank drink. And then the Wildcat Frappuccino is the Hickson drink, which is a pineapple infused Frappuccino blended with coconut milk. Eventually, before the night's over, I'm going to be able to read that correctly. I don't know when that's going to be, but we got a couple more fills with it, so maybe I can get it.
So maybe you can get there. Time's a wasted. We're going to have to get on that.
Yeah,
So joining us on the show at this moment is the head coach of Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe, Coach Bo Campbell. Thank you for joining us today, Coach.
Well, appreciate y'all having me on.
So, Coach, last week your team was able to get a victory against Ringgold, 35-25 at home. What happened in that game? What basically transpired for you guys that allowed you to come out on top?
Well, I think our guys, really worked hard during the week. We had a great week of practice preparing for Ringgold. Ringgold's always a great team, and Coach Akins does a great job over there and puts a great team on the field. And we worked hard during the week, and on Friday night, the guys, really worked hard, got out there, and we did some pretty good things early in the game, and then we got in the second half and third quarter, didn't do very well, and our Ringgold went down and scored on us, and I was really proud because they went up on us, and our guys responded with a great drive towards the end of the game to win the game.
Now, I know you're a defensive guy. What did you think your defense did well keep you in that ballgame? I know you gave up 25 points, but to be able with Ringgold, I know they can score. And so what was your defense able to do well to be able to kind of keep them at bay at times?
Well, I think our defense did a really good job. I mean, one of those touchdowns, they had an interception for a touchdown, so our defense wasn't even on the field. So, you know, I talked to the kids all week, and, you know, we talked to them as coaches. You know, we got a great coaching staff that really prepared them defensively for Ringgold, because, you know, they throw the ball around quite a bit and have some D1 athletes out there at receiver. And you know, our guys, our defensive backs, Coach Laney and Coach Holden did a great job in our secondary of getting those guys prepared, and Coach Middlebrooks and Coach Wiggins. And you know, we all did a really good job of getting those guys prepared to stop their offense, because they're a high-scoring offense usually, and you know, for us to keep them that low during the game, you know, this is the second year we've been able to do that. So I was really, really proud of our defense.
I mean, 25 points is a respectable amount of points to score. But you guys outscored them. What happened offensively for you guys in that game that you were able to hang with them?
Well, you know, offensively, you know, we did a great job. You know, we got some great coaches on offense too. You know, Coach C, who's our offense coordinator, and Coach Wilson, Coach Stoltman did a great job at O-line, and our O-line really controlled the line of scrimmage a lot of the night, and I was very, very proud of them. And Coach Enlow and Coach Dunn did a great job with the receivers and fullback. You know, one of the things that, you know, Nathan Williams is a big back for us, and to keep him in check is kind of hard, you know, and then some of the teams we played have kept him in check. But at the same time, it kind of opens it up for some of our other guys to make some great plays. You know, I thought the offense did a great job adjusting to some different things that they were doing to us defensively during the course of the game. And, you know, it's a three-phase game, so our special teams did a great job, didn't really make any mistakes that cost us the game. So I was very, very proud of the team as a whole. You know, we still got some things we need to improve on, and you know, we take it game by game, and you know, we're going down to Haralson County this Friday night and tomorrow night, actually, and we're going to go down there, and it's a pretty long drive for our guys, but we're, you know, prepared to go down there and give them all they got, and try to get a win versus Haralson County at Haralson County.
What do you guys what do they do that's going to give you some problems? I know they're they're well coached, they're a good football team. What are they going to do that you think you guys had to prepare for a little bit differently to be able to be in the ballgame, have a chance to win? What do they do differently? What do you have to prepare for?
You know, defensively, they don't do much different than what Ringgold does. You know, they're a 3-3 stack team, so you know, they'll probably slant and blitz and do some different things with a 3-3 stack. But defense, or, you know, offensively for them and defensively for us, you know, we just faced a Ringgold who throws the ball probably 70% of the time, and now we're going into a team, Haralson County, that they may throw the ball 5 or 6 times during the course of the game.
Oh, wow.
So you know, you're like 98% run on a team that, you know, bases out of, you know, 2 tight wing set, and they crunch everything in. They've got, you know, foot-to-foot splits, and, you know, it's kind of a ground and pound offense that they got a really good running back that's got a lot of yards on the season that we're going to have to control and keep in check.
How difficult is it to go from that, where they sling it around the field, so now they're going to just kind of ground and pound? How difficult is it to prepare for that in 1 week?
Well, I think you got to have players that are very versatile, and you know, we've been blessed to have some guys that are very versatile athletes, to where we can kind of move them around and do some different things with them. And you know, it's kind of one of those things where, you know, if those guys get out there and play with heart and play with their technique like they're supposed to, you know, it's been a whole kind of different practice this week, getting ready for an offense like this. So, you know, I think as long as the guys do their jobs and do what they're supposed to do, you know, it doesn't matter what kind of offense they run, you know, we can stop them. I mean, that's what I feel like as a defensive guy.
Yeah.
You're listening to the Gridiron Gang Show here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM, here on Starbucks 10 North on the North Shore. And just because both of those styles, the passing style, ground and pound, can both be annoying when they're really rolling. Just as a defensive-minded coach, which would you rather try and figure out how to stop?
It's tough. I mean, it's tough because, there's advantages to both offenses. If you're running a spread offense and you're spreading it around, y'all were talking about your alma mater, Saudi Daisy, earlier. Justin likes to spread it around a lot, and does a great job with that. But then you have some teams that, that'll get in there and run the ball and be, have tight splits and get out there and try to ground and pound you. Defensively, as a defensive coordinator, there's different ways to get ready for different ones. So, as a defensive minded guy, we feel like as a defensive staff that we can stop just about anybody if they do what they're supposed to do. But at the same time, this year, we were a spread offense before this year. And one thing that we've had to do is adjust what we do based off of who we have each year. It's not like college football where you can recruit. I'm going to run Texas Tech spread offense, and that's what I'm going to recruit. Yeah. Whereas in high school, you may have the guys that run a spread offense one year, and the next year you may have the guys that you're going to have to run tight splits and ground and pound it. Yeah, wing T. So we actually went from a spread to a flex bone triple option offense. Georgia Tech, Kennesaw State's doing a good job with it right now. And, it's been very, very, we've been very successful with it. And I've been proud of our offensive staff on how they've adjusted to our types of players.
That's pretty impressive to me that you guys made that change. Even at the high school level, when it's necessary, sometimes you still see some coaches be a little too stubborn to kind of change their style and what they like to do to kind of go out of necessarily their comfort zone. Obviously, if you're a good offensive coordinator or a good defensive coordinator, you're able to adapt to your players. But a lot of them, a lot of the offenses, offensive coordinators, especially more than defense, I think, they don't want to change. They want to just do what they do. So that's pretty impressive that you guys are able to do that. Was that an implementation that would kind of start in like in the winter, or is it like with just simple things, or is it more summer work and stuff like that?
Well, at the end of each year, our coaching staff will sit down and evaluate what happened during the course of the year, and we'll always kind of evaluate ourselves. And as a matter of fact, our assistant coaches evaluate me, I evaluate them, and we all evaluate each other. And then we'll turn around and evaluate each kid. And then we'll turn around and evaluate what we did offensively, defensively, and in the special teams. And our staff's pretty, we got a really good family staff. A lot of these guys played football when I was coaching at LFO previously. We got one that when I was coaching at Notre Dame that he's over there with us, and another one that was at Notre Dame as a coach that's over there with us. So we're a really tight-knit staff, and we're real honest and open with each other, and kind of we sat down and looked at our offense and defense. Defensively, we base out of a 3-4, but we can move to a 4-man front. So we can be very multiple depending on what kind of offense we see. And that's what's great about us being able to go from playing Ringgold to Haralson County and be able to not have to change what we do defensively because we've already kind of worked on it. Yeah. Whereas, as an offensive staff, it's kind of harder to do that. And we sat down me and the offensive staff, and we were throwing around suggestions on what we had and what we could do next year that would help us be more successful. And, we all it all pointed to us running this triple option offense. And it's a kudos to our staff, offensive staff that went out and visited Georgia Tech, went out and visited Kennesaw State, and really studied this offense really hard because, these are all guys that ran spread and different things like that. So, kudos to them. And I was very proud of our staff and being able to make that change successfully.
How important are those coaching camps where you're able to go and watch and learn from staffs who run similar things to you or things that you want to run that are a little bit different? How important are those off-season camps for coaches?
I think they're very important. I mean, you may take a little bit from one person and you may not take much from another, and another you may take a whole lot from. But it's always good to kind of get out there and see what other people are doing, you know, on the on the collegiate level, on the high school level, you know, and you know, we try to do that. And, you know, I'm not a big going to listen to 800 guys speak, whereas we're more of a staff that kind of likes to go listen to, you know, people that are doing the same things we're doing or wanting to do the same things we're doing. And you know, whereas, you know, college, looking at, you know, for example, any colleges or high schools, you know, we've gone down to Alabama and talked to some high school coaches. We've gone down, you know, we've gone to the Alabama clinic. We've gone to Georgia Tech clinic. You know, we've gone visited Kennesaw State coaches. Just, you know, anything we can do to kind of pick people's brains and see, because, you know, my feeling is if you think you know everything, then you're going to get left behind real fast.
Yeah, that is a great point. I think, you know, you see it all too often where you see coaches who are, like I said earlier, too stubborn to make changes, to do things like that. But the successful ones are able to adapt. Player-wise, go ahead. I'm sorry, Kevin.
I was just going to say you're listening to the Gridiron Gang Show here on Nuga Radio 92.7 FM. Here at Starbucks 10 North on the North Shore. Coach, just before Nick asked you his question, what grade would you give your team so far this season? You know, not just the players, but the coaching staff as well. We just talked about how adaptable they've been in terms of figuring out ways to use and put your players in great situations. What grade do you give LFO so far?
Well, it's kind of hard to average it out because I think our first game versus Heritage, we played awful. I think, you know, I blame that on, you know, us coaches too. I think as a team, we weren't prepared as as I thought we were. And, you know, that's kind of on me. So, you know, I felt like, the first game is probably an F, you know, it wasn't good enough. Even though we only lost by about 15 points, we should have beat them. You know, we should have won that game. And then the second game, you know, we had a great week of practice that week, came out and beat Gordon Lee. And beat them pretty good, and I would give them an A for that one. And then, you know, you turn around the next week, and they did a great job versus Murray County. We're still turning the ball over too much, so probably like a B. And then this week versus Ringgold, we turned the ball over a couple of times, but, you know, probably a B plus. So I guess we're kind of averaging around a B minus, you know, somewhere around in a B, right? Yeah. So I mean, we're doing pretty well, but, you know, one thing that we try to do is take it week to week, and you know, we're not really talking too much about the Ringgold game last week. You know, we feel like after season we can look back and say, and we can kind of be happy for the success that we had, whereas. You know, we're worried about Haralson County right now and what we're going to do versus them. So, you know, our guys are doing a great job of kind of concentrating on that instead of worrying about what happened in the past.
Is it difficult to get these young kids to buy into that, to the almost like a snap and clear mentality? Just we're on to the next one now. We'll worry about the others at the end of the year. I know as a coach, that's always kind of your idea. It's what you want to do to be successful. You got to move on. But for these young kids, is that difficult?
It is. I mean, you know, you're coaching 14 to 18-year-old kids. So, you know, and you're trying to get them to become great young men. So, you know, I feel like, you know, you're teaching a lot of lessons, not just that. You know, you're teaching a lot of lessons every day. And we talk about learning every day and becoming better men every day. And, you know, I think that's, you know, we got into practice on Monday and it was going okay. And, you know, I kind of felt like that they were kind of bathing in the success of what happened, you know, versus Ringgold. And so we kind of talked to them and we got on to them. And I think they learned real fast that, you know, we don't need to be worrying about that right now. We need to worry about Haralson County and going down to Haralson County and doing a good job against them so we can keep, you know, stay undefeated in our region right now.
So you guys have like in North Georgia football right now, I think is really, really good. What's your takeaway on just like the state of North Georgia football? You guys are playing really well. Heritage is playing better than I think most people would have thought at this point in the season. So like what is North Georgia football looking like to you, and what's sort of your place in it?
You know, I think there's I think North Georgia football, there's some great football being played in North Georgia, and in a lot of the regions that that these teams are in. Heritage is in 4A, and there's a lot of good teams in their region. But our region, I can speak specifically towards our region. Our region, you got Calhoun in our region, and every year, they are the kind of the staple program that you got to try to beat. I tell our kids all the time, I love playing Calhoun because I feel like, that kind of shows us if we can play with a team like Calhoun and we can beat a team like Calhoun, then we got a shot to go all the way. And we tell our kids that all the time. And everybody else on our region right now, and even Calhoun a little bit is everybody's kind of equal now, and anybody can beat anybody on it, on any given night. So, I feel like that North Georgia football, I'm telling you, it's strong. It's strong, and you got to be prepared. When I took the head job at LFO 4 years ago, I knew that going into it, and you wanted to help out this school and the program because we got a great at Levy Fort Oglethorpe High School. We've got a great faculty, staff, school, fans, parents, students. Just a great bunch of people, and we're a family. We're a family down there, and I feel like that it was my a calling for me to leave Notre Dame and take that job at LFO because I think there were some things that I felt like that I could help out with, and go get over there and help them.
For sure, this year especially, has there been a player or two who've just kind of surprised you, kind of popped, kind of been that more of a gamer mentality, somebody that in practice maybe not you would have expected what they've been able to do on the field? Or
we have a bunch of guys like that. I've been very proud of a lot of guys this year. Our offensive line, we had a guy that moved to center this year, Dylan Simpson, that's done a great job at center. Blake Farmer, our left guard, and Noah Haney, our right guard, have done great jobs. Justin Swindle and Gavin Holloway are a couple of guys that I don't know if they even knew they would see the field one day, and they've just done a great, tremendous job of working hard and getting better. Malachi Powell, our quarterback, we weren't even looking at possibly starting him when we were in the off season, and he just pretty much got out there and wanted the job and worked hard and did a great job. We had a guy that was a baseball player, Giovanni Barroso, that came out for football that's done a great job for us too. Ruddy Ware does a great job for us on offense and defense. Jacob King, KK DeAndre Rowe has done a great job stepping up. He's a guy that's played a lot of JV before and really stepped up this year for us and done a great job. And we've got some receivers that have done a great job. So, and that's just talking about the offense. Defensively, we've had some guys in key spots that we graduated a lot of secondary. And you play a team like Ringgold, we graduated a lot of our secondary, but we had some guys that Christian Vaughn was already playing last year and playing this year and doing a great job. But Jacob King and a couple of our corners that have done a great job also. So I've been very proud of the guys on offense, defense, and special teams.
And thanks again to Coach. Thank you to Coach Bill Campbell from LFO joining us here. This is the Gridiron Gang
Traffic,
Show here
news, and information. Nuga Radio, digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio, digital FM 95.3 HD4, 92.7 FM's news now.
Dalton police say an unidentified man used stolen credit cards to rack up hundreds of dollars in charges at stores in Fort O. Reports say the credit cards were stolen out of vehicles parked at a soccer complex back in April. Suspect is described as an African-American male with a beard wearing a Nike athletic shirt at the last time the cards were used. If you have any info, call the police. A traffic stop yielded a massive haul of drugs. Etowah police officer Jason Russell responding to a call of a suspicious vehicle early yesterday. Reports say police recovered almost 5 pounds of meth from the scene, one person arrested. And Chattanooga police believe they know who shot a man on Wheeler Avenue. 31-year-old Tavares Walker was found shot multiple times September the 9th. Darius Woods arrested and shipped off to the Hamilton County Jail. He's charged with attempted first-degree murder, aggravated assault, and a gun charge. Val St. John for Nuga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News now.
David Toulis on Made the Move, 1 o'clock every weekday afternoon, 1 till 3, Nuga Radio.
92.7 Nuga Radio, Chattanooga weather.
Expect mostly clear skies to continue through your nighttime. Overnight lows into the upper 60s to near 70. Could see a little patchy late fog. For Friday, another mostly sunny and hot day expected. Highs near 90. Back into the upper 80s with a nice late afternoon shower or storm Saturday. Glass Farm Nursery is now open with a big selection of trees and shrubs for fall planting, as well as big savings on 8-inch mums, violas, and pansies. That's Glass Farm Nursery, Highway 11, 4 miles south of Trenton. And I'm Storm Sheen 12, Chief Meteorologist Patrick Ford.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
I got my business up and running, and it's already expanding. I got lucky. Lucky because I found Signal Voice and Data. Signal Voice and Data can incorporate all of my business information sharing and communications seamlessly, keep my costs down, and let me work more productively with endless connectivity no matter where I might be. That's called working smart, not hard. Go to signalvoicetn.com and bring the future of communication to your business today. signalvoicetn.com.
I live, work, and play in Chattanooga, the scenic city. But when it comes to my next car, truck, or SUV, I'm Alabama bound. Fort Payne, Alabama, and Landers McClarty Ford. Big city selection of new and pre-owned vehicles with the small town price and friendly service. Now, I'm not knocking my hometown, but when it comes to my next ride, I only go to Landers McClarty Ford of Fort Payne. Their selection is huge. But if I can't find what I want, they'll find it for me with the same low price, same great service, and only a short drive away. And I can go online to look around before I leave the house. Got that next dream ride in your head yet? Yeah, you do. Get a head start at LandersMcClartyFord@FortPayne.com. Don't just dream it, find it at LandersMcClartyFord@FortPayne.com. That's right, Landers McClarty Ford of Fort Payne, Alabama.
Nooga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Hello? Who am I speaking with? Eric, you're our winner. Really?
You'll receive tickets for all 3 races between the Camping World Truck Series, Xfinity Series, and the Monster Energy Cup races.
Holy cow.
In addition, you'll receive a 2-night stay at the Microtel Hotel and restaurant accommodations at 2 area restaurants.
Nooga Radio.
Roar into Talladega.
Nooga Radio.
92.7.
Your NASCAR racing station. Nooga Radio 92.7 FM.
Nooga Radio 92.7.
You hear that? That's the sound of power. The call of the open road. That is the newly designed 2019 Indian Chieftain Limited. Yeah, Indian. More than a bike, it's an experience and an American icon. And the place to find it, Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga, along with their entire new 2019 line. Ready to answer that call? Go to Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga. Just look for the sign on 153 and Nicola. Indian Motorcycle, the true American original.
Join Nooga Radio and the Gridiron Gang live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. We're talking all things high school football. There's a specialty brew or refresher weekly inspired by the game of the week. Sweet treats, extended hours all season long, and we're pet friendly. Portions of all proceeds support local schools and educational scholarships, as well as after-school programs. It's football time in Tennessee. Join us every Thursday live from 7 to 9 at Starbucks, 10 North, your North Shore neighborhood living room.
The kids are back in school, routine has returned, and we've shifted our thoughts to the fast approaching holiday season. Are you hosting? Want to spruce up before your guests arrive? Whether you want new color and exciting wallpaper or elegant window treatments, the designers at Chattanooga Paint and Decorating can help. With brands like York, Tebow, Graber, and Carroll, we know you'll find something you love. Stop by Chattanooga Paint and Decorating today. It's really more than just a paint store. On Hicks and Pike, across from Valvoline, or online at ChattanoogaPaint.com.
Nooga Radio.
Are you brain dead? Still voting for pathetic liberals? Take 3 hours of Sean Hannity from 3 to 6.
Nooga Radio.
Then call us in the morning between 9 and 11.
92.7.
Nooga Radio.
You're listening to Nooga Radio 92.7 FM, the Gridiron Gang Show here at Starbucks 10 North on the North Shore. Keon Rose alongside me, Nick LaFew and Sam Jordan. We were just joined by Lakeview Fort Oglethorpe High School head coach Bo Campbell. So we had a lot of really great interviews today with Calvin Jackson and Chris Brown and Bo Campbell joining us, and we're very grateful for all of them for coming
and a lot
out.
less Sam.
But we still have a lot of Nick.
The look that I just got right there, that was great.
Beautiful. Completely worth it.
That was great. Hey,
I'll just say this.
10 out of
10. 38 years, I don't mind not saying much.
oh, well, I enjoy to talk.
I see.
Yes.
Right. And I get to talk, and we didn't get to talk to Coach Campbell about it much, but I talked to him off the air. He played at the University of Tennessee back in the early 90s. He was there when Peyton was there. He was part of an SEC championship team in 97. So off the air, we had a nice little conversation about Saturday.
Of course.
He feels good about it. He loves Jeremy
I
Pruitt.
actually feel really good about it, just as an outsider.
Obviously, we'll talk about that a lot on Saturday, and I might throw up a few times during the show on Saturday, just out of pure nerves.
I feel more good about Tennessee winning on Saturday than I do my Hogs.
They ain't beating anybody. They
Except
might be the
themselves.
worst team in the country. And I'm not talking about just like in the SEC. I'm talking like 130 out of 130.
Yeah, I know.
Like they are bad.
I mean that defense is laughable. But let's
What defense?
Defense in quotes.
Yeah.
So let's get back to high school ball. It's time for our picks. I don't know.
And Sam doesn't even have the paper. Look at this. He's
Well,
struggling.
it always takes us longer than we think it does. So let's just go ahead and start and save our game of the week for last.
Yeah.
In a segment that I like to call, because I have to yell. Jason, please plug your ears. Who you got?
Oh God. Well,
it's getting louder.
The whole neighborhood knows. You woke up half the building.
Good.
For sure, police is on its way out here.
Well, they were here last week.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So-
Besides the ambulances. We only had one ambulance tonight. I'm surprised. Somebody's not dying quick enough. No.
Wow.
Dude, that got morbid.
Yeah.
Morbid quick.
Speaking of morbid and not doing anything this week other than Nick, Notre Dame and Howard Tech are off this week.
Notre Dame and Howard Tech are off.
Yeah.
I love how you still call them Howard Tech.
Well,
Just
that is
Howard.
their legitimate legal name, Howard
but
Tech.
they're just Howard to all of us. though.
I know. But the Hustlin' Tigers are off this week. They'll take on Chattanooga Central at Howard. So that will be
When
an
is that,
interesting
next week?
Next week.
Okay.
And then Notre Dame, who's 4-1 this going into this week, they take on Knoxville Webb next Friday in Knoxville.
Oh, they'll win that game.
They should. Knoxville Webb has been like a disappointment. They've only won one game. Speaking of winning one game, Howard 1-3 record. So I don't think they're going to have too much of easy task with Chat Central.
We have a little bit of a lighter slate this week. I feel like they're starting to get a little bit more into the bye weeks here.
Yeah, we're just starting to get into the bye weeks,
Yeah.
and over the next 2-3 weeks we'll have byes.
Yeah.
So there'll be a lot less games to report on Friday night during the Chat State fifth quarter show. So make sure you tune in after the game.
To Sam Ramble when he's out of scores.
Yes, until 11 o'clock.
I hope the game gets over at like 9:30. I hope it's a blowout and a rolling clock, and then Sam's got to go for an hour and a half by himself.
Yeah, well, that's all right.
It still can't be as bad as that first week with the rainout games.
begging us to come back to the station.
38 years of doing this, and that's the first time ever that it's like, I can only remember one other instance when we were doing Texas League Baseball over in Little Rock, and we had a rain delay that went on for 2 hours, and it's like I've got 52 affiliates on the network, and I'm trying to fill live time. I was coming up and creating programs on the fly like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, man.
Yeah. We went through a few of them twice. But anyway, let's get back to the picks.
Okay.
We ought to get a sponsor for the picks.
Yeah, we didn't realize it was going to be a segment like
whole
this.
segment of the show, which is great. I think it's a great segment. Just like I need to get a sponsor for our pick segment
Hey,
here.
sales manager, we need a sponsor for the
in the
picks
breakfast
of the
blitz
week.
with
Also on my
She's on
show, picks for the college for the week. So
every week it's going to be UT.
Okay, we only talk about them for just an hour and a half of the show. Okay.
Okay. All right, let's get back to high school football.
All right.
And hopefully Tennessee wins against Florida. That way Hayden can not say anything for a while.
Yeah.
Chattanooga Christian.
Oh, boy.
One of our undefeated teams. They're 4-0, taking on the 2-3 Baylor Red Raiders. That one, in my opinion, is going to be a little close, but I think Chat Central is going to pull away in the third quarter and
Christian.
and pull away with a 3-touchdown advantage over Baylor. Baylor is just going south.
I'm gonna go against the grain. I think this is the one game where Baylor just has too many horses for a team like CCS. Yeah.
Elaboration?
Recruiting. And the recruiting is just better right now at Baylor. Marioch is doing a great job now that he actually can recruit at CCS. Baylor still has been able to do that for 100 years. Right. So I still think right now Baylor's still a little bit better. And I'm gonna go Baylor.
I'm gonna go Chattanooga Christian. I look. I keep harping on Baylor every single week about this. Every time I read anything about them, it's penalties, penalties, penalties. They still have not fixed it, and until they do, I'm not picking them for anything.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Chattanooga Christian.
Shooting themselves in the foot like Dallas
They're
Cowboys.
a good team. They've got players. I like their quarterback. Penalties.
Yeah, and that's huge. It really is. All right, the 2-1-1 Grace Baptist Academy squad going up against the winless 0-5 Boyd Buchanan squad. You know what? Grace Baptist, and I've looked at the stats, and they're a decent team. Boyd Buchanan, yeah, they're bad, but I'm actually going to go with Boyd to get their first victory.
Fascinating.
Yeah,
fascinating.
I mean, I've been weighing this all afternoon of like who I'm going to pick in this game, but I'm actually going to go with Boyd Buchanan, and it's going to be a narrow margin, maybe 3 points.
I'm speechless. I'm never picking Boyd Buchanan. Grace.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Grace Baptist Academy. There's two teams that until they beat somebody, I'm not picking them to win anything. It's them and Copper Basin. And like Boyd Buchanan has looked overwhelmed in just about every game that they've played, and with good reason. They don't have anybody on that roster.
Kept it close against anybody?
No. I mean
it's been some major blowouts.
They are bad.
Yeah, it's just like it feels like there's 15 people on that roster. Like it doesn't look good for them. I'm going to pick Grace Baptist. It's just hard for me to ever pick Boyd Buchanan.
All right, this next game, this one's going to be an interesting game to follow all throughout tomorrow night. The 2-2 Bradley Central Bears taking on the 3-1 Ray County squad. It's at Ray County, guys.
Wait, who's playing Ray County?
Bradley Central.
Okay.
This one here, I think I'm going to go with Bradley Central. It's going to be very close, very tight. Even though it's at Ray County, the Bears have actually been doing pretty decent last couple weeks. And that momentum going into this game, I think, could be a turning point for them in their season.
I'm going to agree with you, Sam.
It's hard to believe.
I'm going Bradley Central, too. I think their offense is too powerful. And here's the problem with what Ray County does. If they're able to do ball control with that offense and, dominate time of possession like 70-30, then, yeah, they're probably going to win the ball game. But Ray County's problem is they can't score fast.
No.
And Bradley Central can. And I think in the high school level, that if you come up against a pretty good team that can score fast when you run that wing T type offense, ball game's over. So
they're electrifying and exciting.
Bradley Central wins.
I'm going to go Bradley Central as well. It's hard. Like, time of possession doesn't mean anything if you can't stop the other team. And Bradley Central, I mean, this isn't even a Ray County problem so much as it's a Bradley Central strength.
Right.
They just can score in bunches. That's
Ray
pretty
County
much it.
is mostly a run it up the gut type of a football team.
Right.
It's the old way of doing things in high school football, but it's
it's very effective.
It is. And if you have a beat 'em up, drag 'em out defense, then it can work.
Yeah.
It's just that it's hard to say that Ray County's defense is going to be able to do that against Bradley Central.
To be fair,
those guys look like men. Whatever I go see them play.
Ray County does usually have that good defense. The problem is it's just this year it's not as strong. So I'm going to go Bradley.
All right, our next game is East Nashville. I don't know a whole lot about them. At Brainerd, who's 3-2. Brainerd, when you guys did the game here a couple weeks ago, I mean, they hung pretty tough there. And, I mean, anytime that you go against a Nashville or a Knoxville school, you think, well, they're just going to run all over these Chattanooga area schools. But Brainerd, I think, Brainerd is going to keep it close, but I'm going to go with East Nashville.
Yeah, I am too. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't super impressed with Brainerd at all when we called their game. They should have just by talent wise, they should have beaten Eastridge by 21 points.
Yeah.
So with a Nashville team that I'm sure is a lot more talented than Eastridge, I'm going East Nashville, and I didn't even know that was a school.
I'm gonna go with Brainerd because, as we all know, whenever I don't know a school from out of town, I am a homer. And also, I like Nick said, like the talent that Brainerd has the talent.
Yeah.
It's all there. It's just a matter of
putting it all
together. And as I always say with Baylor, penalties. You really can't have some of those. They've had some costly ones, but I do think that if they can avoid those, they're talented enough to hang with just about anybody.
Yeah. All right. Interesting matchup here coming up. 1-3 Cleveland and the 0-5 Walker Valley.
It's not going to be an interesting matchup. Go ahead and pick.
Cleveland by 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, easy. Cleveland blows them out of the water.
I'm going to take Cleveland. Again, if you haven't won anything this season, I'm not going to pick you until I see you win something.
Yeah.
Cleveland's record is very deceiving,
yes,
too.
It is.
Look at the teams that they've played. It's very deceiving. So Cleveland's going to win in a runaway.
All right, here we go. The 0-5 Copper Basin squad against the 2-2 Silverdale Baptist Academy squad at Silverdale. Silverdale by 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, Silverdale by lots. Maybe 4, maybe even 5. Yeah. Copper Basin has found an alarming way to lose by giant margins on a weekly basis. And it is almost beautiful how they managed to do this. It's starting to get creative. Copper Basin is like your free win. Whoever's playing them, it's
just like Walker Valley.
I have no reason to say this. I just have a feeling. I think Copper Basin wins.
Really? Oh, going shooting from the hip?
Well, I just think here's the thing. Silverdale's not great either. Okay, and Copper Basin's got to win 1, and I think this is a good opportunity for them
on the road.
But we said that about the Cleveland Browns last year, and that didn't exactly transpire. Look, I'm just saying the Copper Basin might be our Browns.
I know that these two schools are far enough apart from each other, but if you put Walker Valley and Copper Basin together, and who's the other one that's
Boyd
Buchanan, you might get one decent team.
Maybe. Look,
wouldn't be a power school.
We get down on some of these 0-5 teams, but Coach Campbell was saying, a few years ago when he took over at LFO, like they didn't win any games to start, and then look at where they are now. You can build, but right now Copper Basin is a very, very bad football team.
All right. Tyner 4-1 at East Hamilton, who's 2-3. That's a no-brainer in my book. Tyner all the way.
Tyner's just they don't even have to execute well. They're just gonna out-athlete East Hamilton. They probably will win. I would say by 20+ points.
I would be shocked if they didn't. I would be really shocked if that wasn't a 3-score game or more.
East Hamilton was decent early in the season, but they have not played well.
Lost to Saudi Daisy.
Yeah.
Go Trojans.
Yes. Can't help but get that in there. All right. This one here, 0-4 East Ridge Pioneers and the 1-4 Signal Mountain guys.
Signal Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. Signal Mountain, it's another
record
one.
Is deceiving.
Another one, yeah. Agreed. I mean, Signal Mountain's played 2 state title contenders. And they played East Hamilton too and almost beat them in that deluge that was
the first week of the season.
Yeah,
Look, Herm Edwards once said you are what your record says you are. I actually disagree with that. You can be better than your record, you can be worse than your record. And Signal Mountain is a prime example of one of those teams that's better than what the record says. And, East Ridge is a school that scraps and fights, but they don't have the men.
Right. All right. Lookout Valley coming into this week, 1-2-1, taking on Huntland with a 4-1 record. I don't even know where Huntland is, but I'm assuming somewhere in Tennessee.
Good guess.
Safe assumption.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I'm just assuming. You know what they say.
Yeah.
But Huntland 4-1, I think that's a no-brainer compared to 1-2-1.
Sure. Don't know who they are, but I'll go with them too.
All right.
Keon.
I'm going to go Homer.
Of course you are.
As I always do. As I always do. It's hard for me to pick Lookout Valley. It's not like I think that they're great, but I don't know, Hundlin.
All right, the 1-3 Marion County squad hosting Coalfield, who's 4-1. It's at Marion County. No brainer, Coalfield. Marion County's been a little sluggish this year. I mean, a lot of different categories.
I agree with you to an extent.
Okay.
But Marion County, you look at who they've played. Okay, you've lost to South Pittsburgh.
Right.
You've lost
a no-brainer.
to Tyner.
Okay. 2 tough schools, state contenders.
I'm going Marion County at home. If it was not at home, I would not go with them, but it's at home. I'm going Marion County.
Wow. Surprise. Cam?
Yeah, I'm going to take Coalfield. I actually have heard of them, and
where are they?
The one
I don't know where they are.
The one time I go Homer, you don't go Homer.
Well, first off, I just enjoy disagreeing. So
Oh, that's
there is that level of
That's
it too.
fair.
But yeah, no, I actually do know what they like. I don't know where they're located. I can't give you that.
All right.
But I have in the past read about
You
Coalfield, and
didn't
they
pass geography,
I guess not.
not Tennessee geography, as I lived in Texas.
Oh, that's true. All right. All right. West Forsyth at Macaulay. I don't know what West Forsyth's record
It
is.
sounds like Alabama school too.
Macaulay's 4-1.
Yeah, Macaulay's really
I'm
good.
going to go Macaulay.
Macaulay's one of those state title contenders. They sling it
Yep.
around the yard. They are a really good football team. Macaulay probably in a landslide. Go ahead, Keon.
I mean, Macaulay has won a lot of their games so far this season by multiple scores. So
By a lot of points.
So I'm going to go with Macaulay. There's no reason to believe that they won't, though. You know, I like them playing a school from Cumming, Georgia, just
All right.
out of
Keon,
state.
Let's move on to our next game. Not trying to rush you here, but you earlier gave us a yawn. Well, this next game is going to be one of those yawners. Meigs County, who's 1-3 at 0-5 McMinn Central.
Oh.
At McMinn Central. Meigs County.
Meigs. Run away.
Okay. I'm going to skip this next game. We'll save it next to last. All right. Whitwell. 5-0. Whitwell.
All
right. 5-0.
He'll get it. He'll get
at Polk County, who's 4-1. At Polk County. Whitwell.
Polk County.
Ooh.
Polk County. Hey there. Living on the edge there, sir. I'm going to take Whitwell. Whitwell is, they look like a powerhouse. Like, I mean, I don't know how to.
They both are.
I know, but Whitwell is, they're so, look.
You won't even give the home field advantage.
No. Not,
All right.
not with the way the Tigers have been playing.
2-2 Sale Creek at 2-2 Pickett County. I'm assuming that's somewhere up north. At Pickett County.
Somewhere in a
I'm gonna
place
go
called Pickett
Homer
County,
on this
probably.
one. I'll go with Sale Creek.
Sale Creek, sure, why not?
I mean, I'm going to go with Sale Creek. Just to homer it up.
Another yawner game, Sequatchie County over in Dunlap on the road at Bledsoe County. Sequatchie's 2-2. Bledsoe is 1-3. I'm going to go with the boys from Dunlap.
Sequatchie as well.
I'm going to go with Sequatchie. They're
better.
Vaguely better. Yeah.
A game that's probably going to end early, maybe by 9 o'clock. South Pittsburgh, who's 4-0, taking on 1-4 Lipscomb Academy.
South Pittsburgh. Let's not even continue.
That might be a 72-0 game.
It's possible.
Yeah. All right. MBA, or Montgomery Bell Academy, for those of you that don't know, who's 4-1. This is actually an interesting game, taking on the 5-0 Brentwood squad from up north. It's at Brentwood, which, if I'm not mistaken, is outside of Nashville.
They both are.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know MBA is. I know more about MBA and how they have scored on their opponents. I mean, they really put a whipping on them. Even though they got that one loss, I think MBA is going to be able to upset at home. At home at Brentwood.
Yeah, I'm going with the Masters in Business Administration as well, MBA.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Brentwood. They have a history of being very good football team. So, you know, I'm going to go with them.
4-1 Ottawa Owls hosting the 3-1 Saudi Daisy Trojans at Ottawa.
Oh.
This one here I'm a little torn by as well, but I'm going to go Trojans by 2 touchdowns. That may be a stretch.
Saudi Daisy!
I'm going to go with Ottawa for 2 reasons.
You live there.
One, I live there, and that's the reason I've been picking them like roughly every single week. And also, they are an amazing team, and I like the way that they win close games. Like when games are really close, like Ottawa finds a way to beat you. That's going to be fun.
The Amco Transmission Total Car Care of Chattanooga Game of the Week. The 3-0 Red Bank Lions at the 0-4 Hickson. This is going to be a tough one, but Red Bank's going to win by 3.
Red Bank's going to win by 35.
Well, I mean 3 touchdowns.
Red Bank's going to win by lots and lots, even though I picked this delicious Hickson drink.
All right. That's been the Gridiron Gang show for this Thursday night here at Starbucks at 10 North on the North Shore. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night
Traffic,
for the
news, and information. Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM. 3, 2, 1. Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news. Now.
Dalton police say a woman tried to rob a convenience store with a stun gun. Cops say she distracted a clerk. When he had his back turned, she zapped him with the stun gun. The clerk was more angry than hurt, as deputies say he grabbed a broom and chased the woman out of the store. Lindsay Dean arrested. Chattanooga police believe they know who shot a man on Wheeler Avenue. Darius Woods was arrested and charged with attempted first-degree murder, aggravated assault, and a gun charge. They believe he shot 31-year-old Tavares Walker on September the 9th. A middle school student in Marion County was suspended after officials say he created a hit list with 6 names on it. Those 6 victims were contacted by school administrators and talked to. Superintendent Mark Griffiths said, "We want parents to know that safety is first and foremost in our school system." Construction is ongoing at the 24/7